Hey kings and queens, welcome back to the Love and Honesty podcast. I'm your host, Millie. Welcome to today's episode, everyone. How's the weather over there? Wherever you're at, let me know. Drop a comment down below. I'd love to get some more engagement on this. Currently, it is probably about 75 degrees outside. I see the palm trees swaying, so it looks like it's a little windy and the clouds are going, which I am so thankful to have this type of weather during the summer. I don't know how I would survive Texas. Just kidding. I do know. I would have a pool and I would have AC. Both of those are definitely a need for me. My body just runs on like high heat at all times. It's funny because my husband always says, your paws are on fire. They feel like they radiate heat, no joke at all. So before we get started with today's episode, go ahead and grab your cup of tea. So today I have a simple tea. I just threw in a bag of green tea from Costco and I squeezed a quarter of a lemon and some honey in there. That is one of my go-to teas. Not only does the green tea help digest my stomach, but there's a whole bunch of other benefits to it. The only downside of it, I will say, is that I'm not too fond of the caffeine. I stopped drinking caffeine or coffee more specifically in 2019 maybe. I just got to a point where the coffee would make me sick if I had it in the afternoon. My body just couldn't take it, so I decided to just cut it as a whole and I just rely on my own energy. I do pretty okay. So today I'm going to let you guys know how I was able to plan my wedding under $1,000. Yes, I'm not talking about a huge, magnificent wedding. This is more so for those introvert friends that are out there or those that are looking to elope, because my husband and I did elope back in 2022. It wasn't my original plan to elope, to be honest, but just looking at the way finances are and the way weddings are, I could not fathom spending $20,000 on a wedding for everybody to celebrate. So a little back history about me. I moved around so much throughout my whole life. I only came back to California and settled down when I turned 21. So amongst that, I was just moving around. I would see family here and there, but I wouldn't really say that I was close to them. Definitely not close enough to want to fork out $20,000 for a wedding for everybody. That's not it, and that's not what I wanted and not what I needed. I'm not one that is very attention focused or center focused, and it's funny because I have this podcast, but I don't like the spotlight to really be on me. So a wedding like that was not something that I ever really imagined or dreamed of. If I had the money to do a small intimate wedding, that would have been my other option, but it just kind of worked out the way that it did. And I'm so glad, and I had such an amazing wedding day. I will remember it and cherish it for the rest of my life. So when I was trying to plan my wedding, the other budget-friendly option, I did a whole bunch of research on different officiants. So I basically Googled officiant near me, and I went on Yelp and I read a whole bunch of different reviews and priced out a whole bunch of different people and looked at different availability and what day that I wanted to get married. And that's kind of how I chose my officiant. I ended up paying about $200 for my officiant. And again, let's remember that this was just an intimate wedding. So my officiant was offering an elopement package. So that was not a bad deal at all. I met with her over Zoom a couple of times. We went over how the wedding was going to go, and we were able to edit and make adjustments to our wedding ceremony. So what my officiant had us do is she sent me a Google Doc and she had different variations. So she had traditional, non-traditional, religious, non-religious, and we kind of just picked what we wanted. She also gave us the option to customize, like put our own input in it, but I guess there's certain phrases that you need to have when you are getting married. So that's what we ended up doing. The wedding dress. So my wedding dress was about $50 and it was from Lulu's. I definitely recommend to go try looking at Lulu's for if you're looking for an affordable wedding dress. Mine, because I am so short, I was able to make a midi dress look like a floor length dress, or at least to my ankles. So that worked out perfect for me. I do like that offer returns. So I bought a couple dresses just to have some options, and I ended up choosing the one that I went with. So Lulu's is a great spot to check out wedding dresses. The next one were my shoes. I'm pretty sure I got my shoes off of Amazon, just some simple white sandals. We had our wedding at a beach, so I didn't want any high heels or anything like that, so I just picked up some cute little sandals. I picked up like a wedding belt to go with my dress, so that I put like around my waist, and then I had one other headband accessory that tied around my hair. And that was just, to add a little bit of sparkle and glam to the look. I feel like it came around so well. Oh, also, wedding flowers. Definitely recommend going to Costco. You guys will hear me talk about Costco all day long. We've had our membership since 2019, and I think we've never gone a week without going to Costco. No joke at all. I mean, maybe when we're on vacation, of course, but we're almost always at checking out Costco. They have such amazing deals. The most expensive part of our wedding was renting the tuxes. So my husband and my stepson rented a tux at Men's Warehouse, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Men's Warehouse. That was about like $400 if I could remember, which can be really expensive. I mean, we tried to go a cheaper route and tried to find him just slacks and a shirt, but I think the vibe kind of more so fit for him and his son to get matching tuxes, and they look so freaking cute together. Like, their pictures look so amazing in their matching suits, and they have the hair the same way. It was just too cute. So in addition to that, my stepson was the one to carry our rings. I mean, we didn't have a whole procession or anything of that sort, but we got him a little briefcase that said ring security with a little badge and sunglasses. It was so cute, and he had so much fun dressing up. Anyways, both of those I got from Etsy. So the ring security kit was $22 and the badge and sunglass set was $25. I can link all of this down below for you guys for reference if you guys are interested. I do have a couple of Amazon affiliate links, so there's just a quick disclaimer if you guys choose to buy from me. If not, then hopefully you just enjoyed this content. Another thing that we did purchase were silicone wedding rings. So me and my husband do have our own wedding bands that we have, so I didn't include this in the total, but on the side we also did purchase silicone wedding rings. I highly recommend them, and I really like them. I want to treasure it forever, and I want it to last so long, so I hardly ever wear it. Same with him. So he wears his silicone wedding ring, and he plays soccer, so it's just best for both of us to have our silicone wedding rings. And I really like them. They're cute. You can get a whole bunch of different ones on Amazon, but I will say some of them are not as durable as the other ones. I've had 3 different kinds of wedding bands that were silicone, and I could do a review for you guys if you guys are interested. So I think that finally brings our total close to $1,000, if not a little bit less. There were 2 other things that I purchased for me. These are extras. There weren't anything that was a necessity, but for me, I added it in. I also ended up getting my nails done, and nails can cost so much, honestly. Like, I used to pay, I remember for my, maybe my 23rd? No, maybe it was my 24th. I think it was my 24th birthday. I went all out for my nails. I think I paid over $100 to get custom acrylic nails and 3D art on 2 nails. It was really nice at the time, but would I do it again? Probably not. If you're listening to this on YouTube, I will go ahead and drop a picture right here where you can see the nails that I actually got. They are super cute, but a couple weeks later, I had to break off half of my nails because at that time I was working in childcare and they were just way too long. So the girl that I got my nails done by actually sent me an email promotion. Well, she sent it to all her clients. So I used to go to her back in 2017. I first found her at this shop in my local town, and then from there she kind of ventured off into different nail shops, and eventually she was working out of her house. So yeah, she was having a special at the time of my wedding, so that's how I got my nails done for super cheap. I had a lady that I used to go get my lashes done by, but her her price was definitely outside of my budget. She was going to charge around $270 for a set of lashes, which I believe her lashes were really good. Like, they looked so amazing when I had them on before, and I got so many compliments, but I knew I wasn't going to keep them on. I only wanted it for my wedding. And my coworker actually referred me to her niece, and she's such a sweetheart. She's amazing. If you live in the Bay Area and you're interested, I will let you know her Instagram name. I think she did an amazing job. I got so many compliments, even when they were looking raggedy, to be honest. I remember I was at Nations, and the lady that was standing behind me, she came up after me as I was waiting for my order, and she's like, "Your lashes look so amazing. Where did you get them done? This and that. They look so natural." So that's how I planned my budget wedding. I planned my wedding in about 2 months. It was super intimate, and it just meant a lot to me. That's how I wanted it to go. So for this next part, I found a couple of scenarios on Reddit. I just want to let you guys know who I think is the jerk, whether it's the wedding party or if it's the guests. So let's go ahead and get started. This first one says, David and Patrick are getting married on the beach. David wants their wedding to take place at sunrise, so he asks the guests to arrive at 5:30 a.m. David's sister Alexis complains that it's way too early. David says to suck it up. Who's the a-hole? So personally, I feel like Alexis is the jerk, because you're there to support your brother for his wedding. So if he wants a wedding at sunrise, then let him have his wedding at sunrise and be there to support him on the way. Because if not, this situation gets thrown back and it turns into your own personal wants and needs. You don't want to wake up early because that's just not in you, or maybe you have some flight situation. I don't know what the details are, but again, at the end of the day, you're coming to support somebody for their wedding. So I just feel like you should honor it. If you're not able to make the wedding at sunrise, then maybe just say, "Hey, thanks for the invite. We'll head on to the reception." Just go on with your day. There's no need to have added stress on your wedding day. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to elope so bad. I was not dealing with any stress. To me, it just was not worth it. There was no happiness in that. The next one says, Maddie is having a color-schemed wedding. She tells her cousin Merida, a bridesmaid, that her natural hair color will clash with the dresses and asks her to temporarily dye it or wear a wig. Merida says no and drops out of the wedding. Who's the jerk? So this, I feel like it's the bride that's kind of being a bridezilla, just in my personal preference. How are you going to ask your bridesmaids to change their hair or change their appearance just because of your color scheme? I mean, if it clashes, then it clashes. Oh well, but at least all of the outfits will look uniform. So what does hair have to do with anything? Just in my personal opinion, I would never ask anybody to temporarily dye their hair. First of all, you don't know what that's gonna look like. Second of all, you're adding an extra cost to get a wig. Like, hair is hair, and if that person can flaunt it, or if they can make it work, let them make it work. Let them be creative. Maybe it was okay for you just to throw that idea out, but if they drop out of the wedding, like, there's just no, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, personally. Buster asks his friend Arthur to be his best man. Arthur has very poor vision and needs glasses to see at all times. Buster asks Arthur to take his glasses off during the photo so he looks his best. Arthur is offended and refuses. So who's the jerk? I definitely think the groom is the jerk. Again, this plays into part with the previous question. How are you going to ask your best man to change their appearance for something that you want? I understand that is your wedding day, but at the end of the day, your best man is an individual and they're their own person. They like the way that they look. Clearly, they wouldn't be wearing glasses, right? If me personally, for example, I hated wearing glasses, so I got contacts. But if you choose to be okay with the glasses, then just let them be. Let them be okay. Maybe you could Photoshop it out if it really irks you that bad. I don't see myself ever being a bridezilla. I just don't get the concept of it. Again, big weddings to me just become stressful and chaotic, and they cost a lot. And at what expense? Yes, you have the memories to share with your family. Yes, you have this to boast. Oh, I had this beautiful wedding. But for what at the end of the day? I would have rather gone on 2 honeymoons with the amount that you would pay for a wedding. Like, I get there's a whole bunch of gifts and there's a whole bunch of perks and stuff like that, and it's a great time in your life, so I'm not knocking it down. But for me, as a true introvert, I would rather not deal with any of that stress. Lorelai is getting married and asks for cash for wedding gifts. Her mother, Emily, thinks this is tacky, but buys Lorelai expensive dinnerware instead. Lorelai says she just did this to be difficult, and Emily calls her ungrateful. Who is the jerk? Well, I definitely see both sides, because cash, like, you can do so much with your own cash versus what somebody gifts you. But also, I feel like you have to ground yourself and be appreciative of what you receive from somebody. A gift is a gift no matter what it is. Like, for me, my grandpa gifted like this tea set, and it's so cute, so adorable. Am I really going to use it that often? Not that often, but I'm still going to have the memories that my grandpa gave this to me for my wedding. So I feel like that is something that I look at it as something that you can cherish, something that's tangible, maybe something that you can pass down to your kids later on. John is a wedding videographer. When he looks over the footage, he hears one of the altar boys say, "The bride is ugly." He choppily edits the sound to say, "The bride is enchanting." His boss, Chip, yells at him for ruining the audio. Who's the a-hole? I feel like the boss is the a-hole. Like, if I would have explained this to my boss and they were still upset at me, I don't know what I would do, because as a bride, you don't want to be called ugly. You're obviously hiring a videographer so that you can capture this perfect day for you, this perfect moment that's in your life. And if there's some audio that's in there where one of your altar boys or just one of the altar boys says the bride is ugly, like, I feel like that can just ruin everything, especially if you can hear it so prominent and clear. Maybe I would have just muted that scene and put some audio over it, but I don't really know how this came out. But I don't think there's anything wrong with editing the audio. So if you have made it this far into the podcast, thank you so much for listening. Like, this means a lot to me, and I'm so excited to bring you guys more content. Go ahead and leave a comment down below and let me know your funniest wedding story, whether it happened to you, something you witnessed. Also, if you are tuning in on YouTube, go ahead and check out these photos. I will drop a couple of pictures from my wedding day so that you guys can kind of get a visual of what it looked like. Again, for me, this worked out super perfect. To end this episode, I want to leave you guys with a wedding toast that I found online. So this says, "May your love be modern enough to survive the times, but old-fashioned enough to last forever," which I resonate with so much, because times are changing, right? Like, there's so much that impacts relationships in our lives today that wouldn't really have been an issue if we were back in like the Stone Age and not having technology and the use of social media as it is today. I hope you have a beautiful day, afternoon, this next week ahead of you. I will be back with another episode. Go ahead and leave me a comment and let me know what you thought of this. I would love to hear your feedback. Again, I'm here for you guys. So if you guys ever want to chat, go ahead and send me a comment, send me an email, and we can talk about it. Much love to you guys.